is practice. And what I mean by that is practice the right way. I know a lot of drummers that get on the drum set, and if I'll demonstrate, they just kind of... That's not practicing at all. That's called jamming, having fun, getting loose, getting warmed up, but that's not practicing. Practicing includes doing something that you can't do well over and over until you get better at it. And that takes time, and it's boring. It's very boring. For instance, there's one thing that we did when I was in high school called a double stroke roll. This roll is the most boring rudiment that I've ever done, but it's simply this. You can imagine for hours my mom and dad, my family were tired of hearing it, but that's what I had to do every day. That's practicing. And of course, as you do it longer, it gets faster. But it's still the same thing, but it takes time and practice. That's what practicing is. And so when you're practicing even with your foot, you might do for hours. And that might be boring to some of you, but that's what real good drummers do. They don't just sit down to the drum set and jam all day for hours. So make sure you're practicing. The other thing you need to practice with is a metronome. Some of you might not know what a metronome is, so I have some examples of a metronome so you can kind of get an idea what it is. This is a metronome. What it does is it gives you a click, more like a ding, ding, ding. The reason why it does that is for tempo, okay? That's something that every drummer needs to know about. The word tempo is an Italian term that just tells you how fast or how slow you're going. If you stay on tempo, you'll get gigs. If you can't stay on tempo, you will not get gigs. Okay? Gigs are when you play with people. I have a drummer, this is the drummer that I use every time I play somewhere. He got the gig because he has great tempo. The other drummer lost the gig because his tempo fluctuated, okay? And that's the thing, the church is going, and then you go, they're going to look at you like you're crazy because you're speeding them up. Or if you slow it down, they're also going to look at you because you're dragging. So tempo is important, and that metronome is a very important tool that I recommend that any serious drummer practices with. They're going to have these on sale for just $25. Okay, I believe that's the price. Am I right, Jeff? $25. This normally costs a lot more than that, but he's doing a sale, for just, new drummers that are coming up. And I think any parent that wants their child to be a successful drummer, you should look at trying to get them one of these. Now, as they continue with drumming, there's Dr. Beat. Now, this is what most percussionists practice with at school. If they're on the drum line, snare line, or quads, what they'll use is this because they want the percussion line to be in sync. And this helps you stay on tempo. It also includes triplets, eighth notes, 16th notes. And if you're not sure what those terms are, we'll be glad to talk to you more about that afterwards. But this was a lot more expensive. It's more like $175. But this is key. And if you ever watch some of the professionals on TV, they'll have headphones on, and you wonder what's in those headphones. A lot of times it's the music, the track, or a click. It's just going ding, 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 and it keeps everybody in beat. That's what your drummer job is to do. Another thing is about that you need to learn about is called rudiments. Can someone tell me, raise your hand of a young person in here if you can tell me what rudiments are. Name one rudiment. If you do, you can get $1. Okay, no young people got a rudiment? I just named one already. Is there anybody that can name? Is there a drummer in the house that can name a rudiment? Besides Mr. Jeff. Yes, sir. What?
Paradiddle.
Paradiddle, okay? Paradiddle is right, left, right, right. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right. Thank you. Now the answers are coming in. Paraflam, okay. Okay. Is there any other ones? Any other ones? Flamadiddle, triplet. Okay. There's a lot of rudiments. There's hundreds of rudiments. I recommend every drummer get a rudimental book and go through them. Single stroke roll, double stroke roll. Those are the basics, but you should also go into your paradiddles. And you might say, what does that fit and how can I use that on drums? Well, a lot of times drummers who are very skilled will use those kind of things in their drum playing. You can use the bass drum going on downbeat every time. That's a paradiddle, and you can use that on cymbals. Gives you some cool looks, or you can do two bass drums. Paradiddle steel, but you're doing more of with the foot going. So paradiddles, rudiments, all that's important. It seems boring, But I guarantee any drummer that's serious about it is going to take time doing that. Another thing that you should do is listen to as many styles of music as possible. Okay? Don't just listen to rock. Don't just listen to jazz. Don't just listen to Christian music. I know that, there's some Christians that might say, well, hey, you're pushing us out there. What I'm saying is just explore all genres of music. Listen to country. Even the best drummers sometimes come out of that industry and that sector because they know how to play in pocket. We'll talk about that later. The next thing you should remember this and never forget it is lock your foot with your bass player. A drummer and a bass player are best friends. A lot of times drummers go off into their own thing, but if you're a really good drummer, you listen to what the bass player is doing and you match your foot to it. And I'm going to have somebody demonstrate that a little bit later. Now that word pocket that I was talking about is not your pockets that you have on your jeans. Pocket is when you play a simple pattern and you keep it consistent. I'll demonstrate. Okay, this is a very simple pocket, the basic one that everyone should know before they leave today. Your bass drum is going to be on 1, 2, 3, 4. Bass drums on 1 and 3. Everyone say 1 and 3. When I get to 1, I want you guys to go boom. When I get to 3, I want you to go boom. Ready? And go now. Boom. Boom. Y'all got it? Boom. Boom. Okay? Now, drummers have a drum language, so we know what that means. Boom means bass drum. Tap, what do you think that means? Snare. So boom, tap, boom. Get that going. Boom, tick, 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 tick. Sounds really crazy. Drummers talk like that, but and Pierre makes fun of me religiously for doing that, but that's how I communicate with drummers. Okay, so make sure you know what a pocket is because it just keeps going this way. Some drummers get on the drum set and they start off doing that, and they go, and I don't like that. The reason why I don't is because that doesn't fit good for the song. The song doesn't do that. Once you get a groove, doesn't matter what it is. It could be, you keep that going for the entire song unless it's time for you to change. And that's what some drummers have a problem doing. They get so busy and they lose the whole focus of the song. So make sure you understand what pockets is and use your tricks very sparingly. Okay, the next thing you want to do is wear some protective gear for your ears. Now, I'm taking just a few minutes to mention this because as a young drummer, I used to go in there in the work shed and I would play for hours. And I've heard some people say they lost their hearing or their hearing has gone down because they played so long. So I would recommend anybody put some earplugs in, put some headphones on, something to protect your ears, especially if you're going to be practicing for long hours. And then the next thing is get the right gear. I think it's important to make sure you don't just play on crap. Because if you play on crap too long, then your playing is going to be crappy. Is that nice enough? My niece will let me know if I was too mean. But you should get nice gear. There's a lot of gear inside this store. There's Mapex, there's Tama, there's Roland. There's all kinds of things you can look at to explore, but make sure you get good gear. Okay? Those are some things I want you to focus on. What I'm going to do now, to kind of spice things up, I'm going to let Pierre come for just a second and talk about some different time signatures that he plays in and let him demonstrate some things. And then we have a special treat for you. I'm going to play a song and he's going to play a song. And we're going to let you guys kind of hang out and ask some questions here in a minute. So Pierre, if you would come on up.